You wanted to know if it's necessary to have an epidural when attempting a vaginal birth after a C-section or a VBAC. And it is recommended to have an epidural because it comes down to the inherent risk of needing another C-section. When you had a C-section in the past, the doctor made an incision on the uterus and delivered the baby, stitched it up, and it healed nicely. But it's a weak point forevermore, and that weak point is especially tested during labor and delivery. And there's potential for it to rupture. And this is called uterine rupture. And when it happens, it is potentially life-threatening to mothers and babies. And so thankfully, it only happens less than 1% of the time under the proper circumstances. But there is a risk for it to happen. And there's also a greater risk for a woman with a history of C-section attempting VBAC to need another C-section, not because of uterine rupture, but because of other issues. And you have to have some sort of anesthesia during a C-section to control pain. Those options are regional anesthesia, like an epidural, or general anesthesia. And there are inherent risks associated with general anesthesia for mothers and babies, and the list of risks is much longer for general anesthesia than it is for an epidural. For this reason, a doctor will recommend that a woman has an epidural in place during labor when attempting a VBAC. If you have more specific questions about it, talk with your OB provider and they'll be able to give you tailored information and advice. And if you have more questions in the future for me, feel free to ask them on our Intermountain Moms Facebook and Instagram pages and recommend us to your friends and family too.